Now, Tesla's stock has tumbled 8%, pushing its market value below $1 trillion for the first time since November.
Tesla is in trouble. Within 90 days, over $700 billion in market value vanished. Tesla's stock didn't stumble. It collapsed in a firestorm of panic, betrayal, and chaos. Investors once worshipped Musk as a visionary, but now they're fleeing. His erratic behavior, political alliances, and nonstop controversies have turned Wall Street against him. Even his most loyal backers are dumping Tesla stock like it's radioactive. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about stock prices. This is about layoffs, lawsuits, government retaliation, and a global rebellion against everything Musk built. From Berlin to Beijing to back home in Washington, the world is turning its back on Tesla. So why did the collapse happen so fast? Who's really to blame? And what does this mean for your money, your job, and the future of electric vehicles? Stick with me, because it's only getting started. Why Tesla's losing the electric vehicle war? Customers aren't just hesitant. They're fleeing Tesla dealerships worldwide. In Europe, Tesla's sales cratered dramatically, marking a 70% decline in Germany alone in the first quarter of 2025. Compared to the same period the previous year. Once eager buyers now openly criticize the quality of Tesla's vehicles and the company's deteriorating customer service. Competitors such as Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, and Hyundai aggressively seize the opportunity, capitalizing on Tesla's rapidly weakening appeal by launching impressive, high-quality electric vehicle alternatives at competitive prices. European consumers, initially captivated by Tesla's futuristic allure, shifted their loyalty toward trusted local automakers, confident in better reliability, improved build quality, and superior support networks. The United States painted an equally grim picture. Tesla's once thriving showrooms in California, New York, and Florida now stood quiet and virtually deserted. A notable 35% drop in sales in San Diego County alone reflected a nationwide collapse in consumer enthusiasm. Previously dedicated customers, put off by Tesla's frequent and desperate price reductions, began interpreting these discounts not as opportunities but as alarming signals of desperation. American buyers, who had proudly considered Tesla ownership a status symbol, were now wary of the brand's diminishing value, fearing a rapid depreciation of their investment. This exodus wasn't merely consumer fatigue. It was a wholesale rejection of Tesla's damaged reputation and declining product standards. Customer reviews across prominent online platforms highlighted deteriorating build quality, unreliable software updates, and glaring issues with after-sales service. Social media influencers, once Tesla's most vocal advocates, began publicly distancing themselves from the brand, reinforcing negative perceptions and accelerating consumer distrust. At the same time, traditional American automakers, particularly General Motors and Ford, confidently stepped into the gap Tesla's downfall created. These established brands leveraged their deep consumer relationships, expansive dealership networks, and aggressive pricing strategies to quickly convert disillusioned Tesla customers. Ford's electric F-150, Lightning, and General Motors' Chevrolet Silverado Electric captured market attention, with both trucks selling rapidly even as Tesla's orders dwindled. Ironically, Tesla's relentless attempts to salvage sales through continuous price cutting only deepened customer skepticism. Rather than reassuring consumers, these repeated discounts reinforced the perception of instability and desperation. Car buyers, wary of investing in vehicles whose resale values appeared destined to decline sharply, abandoned Tesla showrooms for rivals, promising greater stability and sustained value. But what was happening inside Tesla was even more terrifying than empty showrooms. This is a story of betrayal, but before we go any further, subscribe. Tesla's executives jump ship. Tesla's top brass weren't just selling stock, they were abandoning Elon Musk's sinking ship. In early 2025, a string of mandatory disclosures set off alarm bells across Wall Street. In the span of just a few months, Tesla insiders collectively dumped more than 700,000 shares. These weren't just middle managers. The chief financial officer, the chair of the board, and even Elon's own brother, Kimball Musk, liquidated their positions with uncanny timing. One after another, they cashed out, leaving investors stunned and scrambling to understand what insiders knew that the public didn't. Historically, when corporate executives sell off stock en masse, it's rarely without cause. Analysts flagged the pattern immediately. Why would high-ranking figures risk signaling a lack of confidence unless something serious was brewing behind closed doors? What followed was a surge of speculation, leaks, and deepening anxiety about Tesla's internal state. Employees whispered about mounting financial irregularities and evaporating morale. Rumors swirled that Tesla's books were full of black boxes, entire expense categories no one could fully explain. Some insiders reportedly described the company's internal communications as chaotic and borderline delusional. Outside the company, institutional investors started pulling back. Hedge funds that had once listed Tesla among their most valuable holdings began unloading shares. Financial firms that had stayed loyal through downturns were now citing Musk's erratic public behavior and loss of operational clarity as red flags. One major asset manager publicly stated they no longer considered Tesla a leadership-driven company, a death knell in the world of high-growth tech stocks. Investor forums exploded with speculation that the sell-off was more than a coincidence. It was a coordinated retreat. The timing couldn't have been worse. Tesla's reputation had already been rattled by public controversies and increasing competition. But now investors weren't just concerned about market trends. They were worried about betrayal from within. For many, the image of Musk's inner circle cashing out while encouraging the public to hold the line was unforgivable. And that betrayal came just as Tesla's most anticipated product was about to become its biggest liability yet. Product disaster. The Cybertruck recall debacle. The Cybertruck wasn't just delayed, it arrived defective and unraveled Tesla's credibility overnight. In what would become one of the most damaging recalls in recent automotive history, Tesla announced in March of 2025 that every single Cybertruck delivered in the United States would need to be returned. The issue? Trim panels and structural components were literally falling off due to faulty adhesives and rushed assembly lines. Musk had promised revolutionary production methods. What customers received instead were vehicles assembled with glue that could not withstand basic road conditions. For owners, the reality was shocking. A truck, touted as bulletproof and built for the apocalypse, fell apart in driveways and parking lots. Videos went viral of trim flying off at highway speeds, panels buckled under light pressure. Some vehicles suffered water leakage during rainfall, and others showed signs of frame misalignment. Even Tesla loyalists struggled to defend what they were experiencing firsthand. Within days, social media was flooded with memes, complaints, and footage mocking the truck's catastrophic design flaws. Tesla's customer service system, already under immense pressure, collapsed entirely. Customers waited weeks for replacement parts. Many received no updates. Refund requests piled up. Lawsuits followed. Internally, Tesla engineers were reportedly furious. Some claimed they had flagged the issues months earlier. But leadership, determined to meet Musk's delivery promises, pushed the trucks out anyway. Leaked internal memos revealed growing frustration between the engineering, production, and public relations teams. And yet, Elon Musk remained dismissive. Rather than issuing apologies or corrective plans, he deflected criticism with sarcasm and cryptic posts. In one viral tweet, he compared the Cybertruck to a medieval siege weapon. In another, he blamed sabotage. None of it landed well with investors or regulators. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration soon launched a federal investigation into Tesla's manufacturing practices and advertising claims. The agency cited systemic design failures and a misleading pattern of product assurances that did not match performance outcomes. This wasn't just another bad launch. The Cybertruck had been Tesla's bold move into the mainstream pickup market, a direct challenge to legacy models like the Ford F-Series and the Chevrolet Silverado. Musk had promised that his truck would render traditional pickups obsolete. Instead, Tesla's botched debut drove customers right back into the arms of its fiercest competitors. Ford responded immediately with a marketing campaign titled "Built to Last," and General Motors offered incentives to Cybertruck reservation holders who switched brands. The financial hit was immediate and brutal. Tesla's stock dropped sharply following the recall. Media headlines used words like embarrassment, meltdown, and collapse. Prominent reviewers who had once celebrated Tesla's innovations now declared the Cybertruck unfit for consumers. Analysts who had built entire portfolios around Tesla slashed their outlooks and issued sell recommendations across major networks. Worse, the damage was long-term. The Cybertruck recall didn't just affect sales, It shattered trust. Consumers questioned Tesla's entire quality control process. Institutional buyers, including commercial fleets, began canceling contracts. The reputation for technological dominance that Musk had spent more than a decade building was dismantled in weeks. And yet, through it all, Musk seemed unmoved. Even as his company's most iconic release disintegrated, both physically and symbolically, he pressed forward with political rants, public feuds, and grandiose predictions about robotaxis and Mars colonies. But for customers, employees, and investors, the question was no longer whether Musk's dreams were bold enough. It was whether Tesla could survive reality at all. And while the product disintegrated and the leadership vanished, one final blow still loomed on the horizon. Wall Street itself was about to implode under Tesla's weight. Musk's social media implosion. The tweets that broke Tesla. Elon Musk's tweets didn't just offend, they obliterated billions from Tesla's value overnight. In an era where a single tweet can send stock prices soaring or plummeting, Musk's persistent online recklessness began eroding the trust of shareholders, customers, and even his closest supporters. At first, his unfiltered style charmed millions, a hallmark of refreshing honesty in a world saturated with polished corporate PR. Yet soon, Musk's penchant for controversy spiraled out of control. The beginning of Musk's social media disaster was marked unmistakably by the infamous Nazi salute incident. In front of millions watching live during Donald Trump's second inauguration, Musk's double-handed gesture triggered immediate outrage, while defenders quickly labeled it an unfortunate misunderstanding. A lapse in judgment magnified by the relentless glare of public scrutiny. Musk's response worsened the crisis. Instead of immediate apologies, Musk doubled down, accusing the media and critics of deliberately misconstruing his actions. The backlash, intense and unforgiving, cut deeply into Tesla's market cap, slicing tens of billions of dollars from the company's valuation in mere days. Yet this initial controversy was only the opening act in Musk's escalating online provocations. Shortly thereafter, Musk began retweeting openly racist content from accounts widely recognized as white supremacist platforms. One particular retweet regarding South Africa's white farmers, an incendiary subject laden with racist undertones, sparked outrage not just among social activists, but also mainstream media and even previously loyal Tesla customers. Musk's half-hearted attempt to frame the issue as a misunderstood defense of human rights only intensified the fury, branding him as either dangerously ignorant or deliberately inflammatory. But perhaps the most damaging moment came from Musk's deeply personal yet alarmingly public comments about his own family. After Musk's transgender daughter openly criticized him for fostering hate, Musk retaliated on social media, stating, "My son Xavier died. He was killed by the woke mind virus." Not only did Musk blatantly disregard his daughter's identity, but he weaponized family trauma in an online spectacle. Critics across the spectrum, liberal, conservative, and everything in between, condemned the tweet as heartless and indicative of a broader disregard for basic human decency. Overnight, Musk transitioned from controversial entrepreneur to public pariah. As these tweets gained global attention, Musk's previously loyal consumer base began deserting Tesla in droves. Protest movements emerged organically online, fueled by thousands of previously loyal fans who felt betrayed and disgusted by Musk's erratic online presence. Websites sprang up almost overnight, meticulously documenting Musk's social media transgressions and mobilizing boycotts of Tesla products. Hashtags such as Dump Musk, Boycott Tesla, and Tesla Takedown gained traction, spreading like wildfire across every major social platform. Analysts soon quantified the catastrophic effects of Musk's online behavior. In just one financial quarter, Tesla's sales dropped precipitously across North America and Europe. Reports confirmed that showrooms, once bustling with eager customers, stood virtually empty, their sleek cars now tainted by association with Musk's chaotic persona. Investors grew restless, demanding explanations and decisive action. But Musk remained uncharacteristically silent on the matter, perhaps finally aware that his words now carried destructive financial consequences. Furthermore, prominent Tesla supporters, once the company's strongest advocates, turned against Musk. Influential YouTubers who had passionately defended Tesla's innovation and Musk's entrepreneurial genius began openly criticizing Musk's unhinged tweets, acknowledging that Musk himself was now the greatest obstacle to Tesla's continued success. Even Tesla's own board began privately deliberating on whether Musk's continued role as CEO represented an existential threat to the company's future. Yet Musk's Twitter wars were only the tip of the iceberg. Musk's political gamble, the Trump partnership backfires. Aligning with Trump seemed bold, but Musk soon realized he'd miscalculated disastrously. From the moment Musk publicly aligned himself with President Trump's administration, he set Tesla on a collision course with catastrophe. His political calculations seemed straightforward. Trump had returned to power, and aligning closely with the president could ensure favorable treatment for Tesla's interests. Yet Musk grossly underestimated the depth of political polarization engulfing America. In choosing sides, Musk alienated a vast portion of Tesla's foundational customer base, eco-conscious, politically liberal consumers. Tesla's initial branding had masterfully captured progressive audiences, those dedicated to combating climate change and supporting sustainable innovation. Musk's explicit embrace of Trump, a figure often viewed as hostile toward environmental regulations, felt to these customers like a profound betrayal. Tesla was no longer a neutral innovator. It was now a brand tied explicitly to one of the most polarizing figures in modern political history. Overnight, owning a Tesla transformed from an expression of sustainability to a controversial political statement. The fallout was immediate. Online communities once fiercely loyal to Tesla shifted their focus toward organizing boycotts and spreading awareness about Musk's political entanglements. Progressive influencers, celebrities, and thought leaders publicly disavowed Tesla, distancing themselves from a brand now entwined with Trumpian politics. The eco-friendly image Tesla had carefully cultivated over decades unraveled at a shocking pace, replaced by the divisive, toxic polarization of contemporary American politics. Media coverage amplified this political fracture. Major publications scrutinized Musk's political alliance, framing his support for Trump not as strategic pragmatism, but as reckless ideological affiliation. As Tesla's image suffered, showroom traffic sharply declined. Once robust demand evaporated, and sales reports across the United States and Canada confirmed a disturbing new reality. Customers were deliberately avoiding Tesla as a political statement. But the political chaos Musk ignited was about to unleash even darker consequences. Regulatory nightmare. Musk's arrogance triggers federal investigations. Tesla wasn't just facing regulation, it was drowning in investigations. Musk's insistence on touting Tesla's self-driving capabilities beyond reality drew unprecedented federal scrutiny. Autopilot and full self-driving technologies, once celebrated as revolutionary breakthroughs, were now subject to intense regulatory investigation. Musk's exaggerated public claims about these technologies being fully autonomous had backfired spectacularly, sparking federal probes into consumer fraud and dangerously misleading marketing practices. Federal investigators cited specific incidents where Tesla vehicles operating under autopilot were involved in fatal crashes, prompting lawsuits from grieving families accusing Musk and Tesla of gross negligence. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration intensified its investigation, while the Department of Justice explored potential criminal charges over fraudulent claims made to investors and consumers alike. Tesla was forced into humiliating recalls affecting hundreds of thousands of vehicles, each instance directly linked to Musk's overstated promises. The financial toll on Tesla was devastating, but the reputational damage proved even more costly. Tesla's brand image, already weakened, became synonymous with broken promises and reckless endangerment of public safety. Yet regulation was nothing compared to the financial tsunami hitting Tesla. Financial mismanagement. The missing billion-dollar scandal. $1 billion vanished from Tesla's accounts. Musk's explanation. Silence. The departure of Tesla's chief financial officer raised immediate alarm bells. But what followed was even more troubling. Auditors uncovered serious accounting irregularities reminiscent of Enron and Wirecard, where enormous sums vanished without explanation. Panicked investors demanded transparency, filing class action lawsuits accusing Tesla executives of deliberately misleading shareholders. As Tesla's credibility unraveled, trust evaporated from Wall Street, further battering the company's already fragile stock price. Amid mounting legal challenges, Musk maintained an unsettling silence, neither addressing investor concerns nor providing adequate explanations for the missing funds. His uncharacteristic reticence only heightened suspicion, fueling theories of widespread corporate misconduct or even outright fraud. While Musk searched for someone to blame, global forces were already moving against Tesla. China cuts Musk loose. The collapse in Tesla's biggest market. China didn't just stop supporting Tesla. They actively sabotaged Musk's empire. What was once Tesla's golden goose has become its most punishing battlefield. For nearly a decade, Elon Musk counted on China as both a manufacturing hub and a gateway to the world's largest electric vehicle market. But now, that door has slammed shut. The Chinese government has shifted its full economic weight behind homegrown electric vehicle giants like Build Your Dreams, NIO, and XPeng, where Beijing once welcomed Tesla with generous subsidies, regulatory leniency, and expedited permits. The new reality is a systematic redirection of resources toward domestic champions. Tesla is no longer the darling of Shanghai bureaucrats. It is a foreign brand out of favor. The numbers are jaw-dropping, and we will talk about them in detail. But first, I need you to take a moment to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget the bell icon too. Now back to the numbers. Tesla's market share in China has collapsed by more than half within 12 months. Local governments that once featured Tesla in state media now showcase Build Your Dreams as the crown jewel of Chinese innovation. New policies require a greater percentage of vehicle components to be locally sourced, a regulation that Tesla has struggled to adapt to. Meanwhile, Build Your Dreams and XPeng are enjoying unprecedented state support, from tax relief to priority placement in government fleet purchases. Elon Musk, sensing the danger, has made several attempts to win back favor. He slashed prices across multiple Tesla models in China, offered exclusive discounts to Chinese consumers, and publicly praised Chinese efficiency and work ethic. But Beijing was not swayed. The days of favorable optics were over. And worse, whispers emerged that Musk's increasing alignment with Donald Trump had made him a political liability. As China tightened its grip on its domestic market, it simultaneously applied pressure on Tesla's gigafactory in Shanghai. Audits intensified. Permits slowed. Public officials no longer visited for photo ops. It was clear Tesla had lost Beijing's trust. But China wasn't the only place that turned hostile overnight. Europe rejects Tesla. Germany's EV industry strikes back. Germany's automakers didn't just compete, they humiliated Tesla on home turf. The European Union, long seen as fertile ground for Tesla's expansion, is now a theater of active rejection. And no nation symbolizes this better than Germany. Once celebrated as a leader in innovation, Tesla's presence in Germany has turned controversial. Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW have rapidly closed the technology gap, releasing electric vehicles that match or even surpass Tesla's performance, range, and design. But the competition isn't just about the cars. It's about politics, pride, and industrial identity. The European Union has enacted regulations favoring domestically manufactured electric vehicles and penalizing foreign firms that fail to meet its increasingly protectionist supply chain rules. Tesla's Gigafactory Berlin, once hailed as a beacon of American entrepreneurship, is now caught in a bureaucratic no man's land. Environmental protests, labor strikes, and zoning restrictions have repeatedly disrupted production. Output is down, morale is lower. German media, once fawning over Musk's vision, now routinely critique his erratic behavior and political entanglements. His close association with Donald Trump has backfired spectacularly in Europe, where Trump remains deeply unpopular among both leaders and citizens. European consumers, once captivated by Tesla's futuristic branding, are walking away. Sales are down nearly 70% in Germany compared to just 1 year ago. Meanwhile, the German automakers are going global. Volkswagen has launched electric vehicle campaigns in Latin America and Southeast Asia, while Mercedes-Benz pushes luxury electric models into markets once dominated by Tesla. The shift is dramatic and irreversible. Yet Musk still didn't grasp the magnitude of his global collapse. The organized online campaign destroying Tesla's image. A coordinated global movement wasn't just criticizing Tesla. They were dismantling it piece by piece. What began as scattered discontent has matured into one of the most organized online consumer boycotts in corporate history. The aim, not just to stop buying Teslas, but to bring the company to its knees. At the center of this digital insurgency is TeslaTakedown.com, a meticulously curated hub of anti-Tesla resources, protest guides, resale flooding campaigns, and legal strategy forums. The site is not fringe. It has gained traction among former Tesla owners, disillusioned tech workers, and even ex-investors who now view Musk as a liability. Their tactics are ruthless and effective. Supporters are encouraged to list their Teslas on resale platforms at below-market rates, saturating the market and triggering price depreciation. Others organize mass review campaigns, flooding forums and review sites with coordinated criticisms of Tesla's build quality, customer service, and software reliability. Hashtags like Josh should dump Tesla and Josh boycott Musk are now viral battlegrounds, drawing millions of engagements weekly. This isn't just a trend, it is a movement, and it is working. Used Tesla resale values have plummeted. Once considered a luxury badge, the Tesla logo is increasingly associated with controversy, extremism, and political toxicity. For consumers outside the United States, Tesla is no longer aspirational, it's radioactive. And while Musk blames these efforts on shadowy conspiracies, the truth is simpler and more brutal. People feel betrayed. The man who promised to save the world is now viewed by many as the villain of the story. But Tesla's real threat was yet to arrive. America itself was turning hostile. Trump administration's shocking betrayal, the end of federal support. Trump publicly loved Musk. Privately, he threw Tesla to the wolves. In one of the most dramatic reversals in modern industrial policy, the Trump administration has redirected electric vehicle subsidies away from Tesla and toward traditional automakers like General Motors and Ford. Gone are the tax credits that once made Teslas financially viable for middle-class buyers. In their place are newly tailored incentives, favoring vehicles built with union labor and sourced from non-Tesla aligned supply chains. For Tesla, that means millions of dollars lost overnight. This betrayal wasn't accidental. Trump, once seen alongside Musk in joint press conferences, has quietly grown wary of the billionaire's erratic behavior, polarizing media presence, and unpredictable political alignment. Sources within the White House claim that Trump now views Musk as a liability, useful during elections, expendable afterward. Meanwhile, the Department of Commerce has begun a full-scale audit of Tesla's federal contracts. Legal analysts speculate that regulatory scrutiny could expand to include Tesla's autopilot claims, safety record, and pricing strategies. Attorney General Pam Bondi has even floated the possibility of charging protest vandals under domestic terrorism statutes, signaling an escalating battle over Tesla's cultural role in America. Musk's response? Shock and fury. In a desperate attempt to maintain investor confidence, he held a surprise all-hands meeting broadcast live from Gigafactory, Texas, pleading with employees to hold their stock and double down on faith in the company. But the signal was unmistakable. Tesla no longer had friends in Washington. Now Tesla stood completely alone, vulnerable to collapse. Wall Street turns cold. Investors flee Musk's sinking ship. Tesla's implosion wasn't just about one company. It threatened to trigger a financial earthquake. For years, Wall Street treated Tesla not as an automaker, but as a tech giant. Investors poured in billions, believing they were funding the next Apple or Amazon. But when the tide turned, it turned fast. Tesla's market capitalization has been cut in half within just a few short months, once trading above $1 trillion. The company is now struggling to maintain half that value. And while retail investors still believe in Musk's mythology, institutional players are dumping shares en masse. Pension funds in California and New York have reduced exposure. Hedge funds once touting Tesla as a long-term hold are now sounding alarms about liquidity risk and long-term solvency. BlackRock, Vanguard, and other institutional titans are quietly adjusting their portfolios, pulling back from the volatility that now defines Musk's empire. The consequences are profound. As Tesla's value crashes, so does confidence in other tech-driven automakers. Rivian, Lucid, and even legacy players like Ford's electric vehicle division are seeing collateral damage. Analysts warn of a contagion effect, a Musk effect, that could drag down the entire electric vehicle sector if sentiment continues to sour. But it's not just investors panicking. Analysts are beginning to question whether Tesla can service its debts if sales continue to fall and resale values remain depressed. As banks review Tesla's balance sheet, risk ratings are changing. And all of it started with one man who thought he could never lose. But now, even Musk's most loyal financial backers are looking for the exit. And the next tremor would come from the very industry Tesla helped build, which is kind of ironic. But tell us what your thoughts on this are down in the comments. Thanks.